and welcome to WRPB and WRTV Studios. I came on today for a reason. So, over the last couple of years, I met Travis, who's sitting next to me, and we kind of worked together and became friends. He's impossible for me to reach, but I get to him. But in his law firm, he practices law, and one of the areas that he practices is personal injury. And I don't think that most of you guys really know the position that you put an attorney in when you have an accident and think that you snowed what's going to happen because you watch all these wacky TV commercials promising you gazillion dollars and that it's that easy. Well, it's not that easy, and there are pieces that make it a little bit easier and keep you protected. Did I get that right?
Yeah, absolutely right. Yeah, Wayne. It's always a bit of a challenge. The triangle of is whether there's damages, whether there's liability, and whether there's frankly coverage, whether there's their ability to, if that person has the pockets to be able to recover from it. But most importantly is whether or not the other party that actually created the accident is the one who's liable for it. Just because you got in an accident, if you're the one who caused the accident, unfortunately that doesn't mean that you get to recover. So a lot of people have that. They think they get in an accident, and sometimes they think that they don't realize that they're primarily at fault, and that creates a huge issue of actually recovering for their injuries.
Well, we're in a no-fault state, right?
We're in a no-fault state.
Okay, so here's what I've learned over the period of time that I've lived here. So you're driving and someone smashes into the back of your car. They, like a ton of people in the state of Florida, have no insurance. So all that you're dealing with now is PIP,
right?
Which is $10,000?
$10,000, yep.
Okay, which, no disrespect to the attorney, because they work, they get a piece of that.
Correct.
And then the balance of that is eaten up almost immediately at your hospital visit or whatever.
Yeah.
So if you don't have the right insurance, then it's over, and you're going to live with the pain that you live with. And the reason I know that is because my wife lives with pain constantly.
Oh, gosh.
Okay?
Yeah.
Not exactly the same scenario, but a lesson well learned for her that here it's so important to get two pieces of your insurance taken care of. And that would be uninsured motorist?
Uninsured motorist coverage, yeah. Absolutely.
Okay. How important is that?
I mean, that's huge. I mean, the challenge, I was dealing with another case the other day where the person on the other side, has $50,000, $100,000 worth of damages, but the other side didn't have any insurance at all whatsoever. And so, if all they had was PIP and they didn't have any uninsured motorist coverage, and therefore they were limited to their $10,000 PIP. And so it's a very frustrating, sad situation when there's not enough resources to provide for the medical bills, and that's why, uninsured motorist coverage is huge. I mean, I've been here in Florida for 25 years. You've been here a long time too, and unfortunately, with the growth in the community, we're seeing more and more uninsured or underinsured drivers. Because just if someone else has just only PIP, and then you get into a major accident, and there's an issue, you don't have that uninsured motorist coverage, and all they have is PIP, you're stuck.
And I hate to say it, but just because you didn't cause the accident, you need to be responsible for the accident. Meaning, if you have just PIP, okay, and you have uninsured motorists with a $200 cap, you're going nowhere. You have to have the right amount when you do your insurance.
That's right.
Now, the tricky part of the whole scenario is another piece called stacking.
Yeah.
Okay, so explain to me if I get this right.
Yeah.
Stacking means that I'm insured two cars. I'll just use two cars.
Yep.
Each one has $100,000.
Correct.
I have an accident in one car. I can stack the two policies so I have enough coverage to take care of my industries.
Yeah.
Is that right?
That's generally correct. Yep.
Okay. So stacking is something that most people don't even know exists.
Right.
Okay. And I hate to put it on the insurance companies, but they're scared to talk about some of these things because it raises the price of the insurance.
Sure.
And they're afraid people are not going to do it because, again, you sold a bill of goods by watching TV, okay, and it says $20 a month you can get insurance. This is what we're up against.
This is what you're up against,
okay?
yeah.
So then when you get a thing that's $149 a month, well, why would I want to pay that when I can pay $20? Oh, and I call them, and I took more, so I got $40 a month.
Yeah.
They don't understand personal insurance is a gamble.
Well, I mean, and you know, the insurance companies, their job is to collect as much premium as they can and pay out as little as possible. You know, that's the game that's worked. Obviously, they're heavily regulated in the Office of Financial Regulation and everything, but ultimately, you know, that's the business there, and they work on pretty small margins and everything. But that being said, like, you do have to, with uninsured motorist coverage in Florida, you do have to opt into it, like, voluntarily. And
Right.
so you look at, you know, the con to uninsured motorist coverage is an increase in premium, but when you do the calculations and, you know, see, it's relatively a small increase in the premium. However, that amount of coverage can really protect you and give your family and your loved ones some level of comfort. God forbid you get into an accident.
Well, I'm going to put it to you this way. If you take uninsured motorists for 10 years, okay, and then you have an accident, the cost for your medical care, if you didn't take it, could be triple or 5 times the amount that difference would have been
Easily,
in your
if
premium.
if not more. I mean, if you would talk to your insurance agent, but you know, when I look at I have uninsured motorist coverage for the same reason, because I know that, you know, the slight increase in the premium versus the amount of extra coverage that I get, God forbid something happens to my wife or one of my children or something like that, is overwhelmingly, you know, positive in that aspect.
So the interesting thing is that it falls on you guys to call your insurance company and find this out. And Travis is an attorney. He's not an insurance guy, so we're just doing this to kind of help you guys out, okay? You will make Travis or any other attorney that you use able to get you what you need in the proper care as long as you have the proper coverage, I guess.
Yeah.
So don't be sold by an insurance company ad on TV saying pay $29 a month, or hey, we recovered $4 billion, we recovered $17 billion. You could be in an accident where it was totally nothing. You could be stopped, parked. If you don't have the right coverage and they have no coverage, it's over for you, okay? You're going to suffer. And the companies that you see that advertise on TV and say all this stuff, they can't recover anything for you, right?
No, I mean, as an accident attorney, as a personal injury attorney, we see motorcycle accidents, bicycle accidents, you know, hit and runs, pedestrian accidents, all of these things, and oftentimes, you know, especially hit and runs, pedestrians, those types of things, you're dealing with a lot less coverage than is needed for the medical bills, and so that's why it's so important to look at your coverage and make sure you're good, because you're almost relying upon the other drivers out there to provide enough coverage for you, otherwise, for God forbid an accident happen. And who does that?
Right.
Who wants to do that?
Right. I totally agree. Everybody, you need to check out Travis if you have any questions, because I'm sure that you can call his office, okay? And everybody in his office is like really pleasant to deal with, or at least everybody I've dealt with over the past time that I'm dealing was really pleasant. You just kind of really actually got into a new building.
We got into a new building down in Stewart. I mean, and it's a beautiful place. We love to. We do free consultations for anyone involved in an accident. Want to make sure they feel they're taken care of and know their options with regards to how to move forward. But yeah, just south of the Roosevelt Bridge, we're there in Stewart.
Let me ask you a question before I let you go.
Yeah.
So we all watch TV, and we hear no fee unless we collect.
Correct.
So I'm just going to guess, in my experiences dealing with attorneys, that's straight across the board.
Yeah.
You're not bragging by saying no fee unless we collect, because attorney A, attorney B, they're all going to basically do the same thing.
Yeah, all personal injury attorneys, accident attorneys in Florida work on a contingency fee. So it is we don't get paid unless we recover for you type of aspect.
Right.
So, you know, to advertise and market in a certain way, obviously that's just, you're basically advertising and marketing for the entire industry.
Right.
Because that's the way things are done. So yeah, we're the same as just everybody else, and we don't get paid unless we recover for you. And you don't have to come out of pocket, and so that helps, because obviously a lot of people are dealing with accidents and worried about an attorney and how much they'd cost and everything. But know that for accidents and personal injury cases, if we take your case, it's on a contingency fee, and so we only get paid if we recover for you.
What's the phone number of your office?
772-708-0952.
And the website?
www.traviswalkerlaw.com.
Travis, thanks for coming in.
Thank you so much.
Thank
Wayne.
you for clearing up.
Yep.
This, and his logo's up there and stuff, but this is really part of what I do, so that you guys know what you're up against, and know that someone with intelligence like him will clarify stuff for you as well as for me.
Sure.
You know, we don't know, and I'm not blaming anybody for not having it.
No.
I think they just don't research enough to know.
Yeah.
Check it out, Uninsured Motorist, stacking. Call Travis. We'll be right back.